This section represents part 2 of our discussion regarding the ITIL practices. And we will begin by discussing about incident management. What is the purpose of incident management? Why do we need to have a practice regarding incident management? Incident management basically tries to restore normal service operation as quickly as possible. As you can see, everything is about speed. We have to find a solution very quickly in order to make the service work again. That's the idea behind incident management. What exactly does it mean, normal service operation? Normal service is as agreed in the SLA. So that is the definition of normal service. So our mission is to try to restore the service in its normal parameters as quickly as possible. Incident management is very similar to firefighting. You just want to extinguish the fire as quickly as possible. You don't care about the cause and you don't have any time to investigate the cause. And you move from one incident to another, trying to fix as many incidents as quickly as possible. So that is the purpose of incident management. Now, apart from that, all the incidents, they have to be logged, which means they have to be documented somewhere. And for that, we create tickets, which in ITIL are called incident records. So we document everything we know about the incident in the incident record. The symptoms, who is impacted, when did it happen, how many users have seen the incident and have been impacted by it. That is the purpose of having a ticket. So you log everything you know about the incident, and not just in the beginning when you open the ticket initially, but on the way, once you've gathered additional information, every additional information that you gather has to be stored in the ticket. So by the time you close the ticket, you solve the incident, everything you did regarding that incident will remain logged in the incident record. What else? We need to prioritize incidents because for sure we will have to deal with more than one incident at a single time. So we'll have a queue of incidents. So there needs to be a way to prioritize them. For example, we may prioritize them based on impact and urgency. And impact and urgency could be agreed in the SLA. So based on the impact they have on the business and how urgent they are, we can define their priority. And there should also be a categorization. We should have some categories. For example, divide them into hardware or software incidents, application related or network related. Why is that important? Because usually if we cannot find a solution on the service desk, on the first line of support, we will have to escalate the ticket. And if we do not choose the right category, we will escalate it to the wrong team. So it's very important that we have a category structure, and whenever we open tickets, we put them in the right category so that we can escalate them correctly, we can read the proper documentation, and it's also important for reporting purposes so that you know exactly how many tickets you had on a particular category in the previous period. So all the incidents, they have to be logged, prioritized, and categorized. What about major incidents? For major incidents, there should be a special procedure. Why? Because they are a special case. A major incident, if it's not treated properly or quickly enough, may even escalate to a disaster. So the impact may be huge. That is why in case of a major incident, there should be a special procedure. And sometimes it is also recommended to have a special team, people dedicated for dealing with that particular incident. And that is also true for security incidents because, again, security incidents, they follow quite a different flow compared to the other incidents, and they require special skills, they require special tools, special access, and that is why most large companies, they have dedicated security teams who deal with security incidents. So major incidents and security incidents should have specific procedures. What exactly is an incident? What is the definition of an incident? As you can see here, an incident is an unplanned interruption of a service or a reduction in the quality of the service. So not only when the service goes down, but let's say, for example, that the SLA states that the login should not take more than 3 seconds, and it already took like 3.5 seconds, that is already an incident because the service is functioning outside the parameters defined by the SLA. So whenever we have a deviation from the SLA, that is an incident. And incident management will try to bring back the service within the SLA parameters. That is how this practice operates. So, all the incidents should be documented in incident records, in tickets, and we should have a suitable ticketing system for that. Most modern systems also automatically assign an ID for the ticket. They allow us to move the ticket, to pass it from one team to another, or to escalate the ticket. And also, good systems allow you to make links between incidents, for example, and problems, or link the incident ticket to a knowledge article somewhere in the knowledge database. So the better the tool, the easier it's going to be for people who are involved in incident management. Usually, the more information we have, the better, because we need to run a diagnosis, we need to understand exactly what is happening, and we need to identify a potential solution. And for that, we need to gather as much information as we can. And also, whatever information we gather throughout the process, it should be stored, it should be documented in the ticket. Because multiple teams may be involved in diagnosing and solving the ticket. For example, once you've escalated the ticket to another team, and the ticket is no longer in the service desk, the other teams will not be able to contact the user to ask for additional details, so they rely almost entirely on what has been documented in the ticket. That is why the ticket has to be documented properly. It is recommended that we have a documented process for incident management. However, not necessarily documented procedures for diagnosis, investigation, and resolution. And why is that? Well, basically because there could be so many different scenarios that it would be almost impossible to create a perfect procedure covering every possible situation. So instead of creating a huge procedure which nobody will actually use, it is better to create a simple process, and then instead of creating huge documentation, it's better to rely on the experience and the wisdom of the people involved in incident management so that they find the actual solution and they apply the solution. And also, we should keep in mind that some parts of the process may be outsourced. So, for example, the service desk could be external, or in some cases, a second level of support or third level of support could be a different company. So that means that we will open a ticket in our system, and at some point we might be required to send that ticket from our system to another system for a different company, so that we can escalate the ticket to them and they will continue to work on the same ticket. That would mean additional complications from a tool perspective, because the tools will have to be integrated. So our ticketing system will have to be integrated with the ticketing system of the supplier. That is the topic of incident management.